Except for some cult hit anime that occasionally arrives on Netflix, most of us choose to watch anime elsewhere.
And in vain, because there are several heavily underestimated anime shows that are hiding in the depths of Netflix.
We've picked 5 of the best of them for you to discover.
Number 5. Violet Evergarden. Don't be fooled by the bright colors and beautiful imagery. This bittersweet anime might get you to feel good in the end, but it's not as lighthearted as it seems. Violet Evergarden tells the story of a former child soldier who attempts to adapt to civilian life after the end of the war. Violet also tries to figure out what her commander Gilbert meant during the last battle she saw him. Back then, Gilbert told Violet he loved her, and this leads Violet to become an auto-memory doll, a ghostwriter in the postal company for people that need someone to put their emotions into proper words. It's a bittersweet anime show that deals with the topics of trauma, getting back in touch with your feelings, and, of course, how love and caring for other people can help us grow.
But if you are in the mood for something more sharp, trashy, rough, and filled both with drama and dark humor, then you need to check out our number 4, Dororo. The opening to this anime, as well as the show and the manga it was based on, looks like it was made by someone on acid. But behind the trashy imagery and loads of violence, there is a story worth watching. The post-apocalyptic setting of the anime has 2 dimensions, the sorcerer's world and the hole, a grim urban place where people reside. The sorcerers can enter the hole by creating magical doors, unlike humans who cannot escape their dimension. Sorcerers treat humans like garbage, as material for their experiments. But everything changes when a man named Kaiman, deformed and clueless about his former identity, and left with a reptile's head after an experiment of an unknown sorcerer, turns out to be immune to magic. He starts a hunt for sorcerers, accompanied by his friend, Nikaido. Kaiman's desire to find out who he really is threatens the existing way of things in both worlds, and makes for a great story. We won't blame you if you decide to check out the manga before the 2nd season of the anime comes out. The anime will amuse you if you appreciate dark humor. Another one of its special features is that both the protagonists and antagonists are very likable, with clear motivations and captivating personalities. So you'll most likely be rooting for both sides at the same time.
Still, if you think that you have enough dark humor in your life, maybe you'll like our next suggestion better. Number 3. Agretsko. It's not the last anime with anthropomorphic animals on this list, but it's the only one that centers around everyday life in the office. Agretsko is a perfect mix of Zootropolis and The Office. It follows the life of an introverted young red panda, Agretsko, that tries to get on with her career and personal life while hiding a dark secret. She loves to sing death metal. While keeping all the peculiar details of Japanese culture, the show is relatable for every office worker in the world, really, especially for those who are just starting their careers. And even though you'll get plenty of laughs during most of the episodes, we must warn you in advance. The 3rd season has a much darker tone than the first 2. Still, this is one of the most easy to relate to animes with an interesting plot on Netflix that just doesn't get the attention it deserves.
But maybe you're looking for something more melancholic and classic. Then you need to watch our number 2, Your Lie in April. It's an anime about love, loss, guilt, music, and inspiration. The plot is about a piano prodigy, Kosei Arima, whose mother was extremely strict and caused both his success and his trauma. After her death, which happened right after they had an argument, Kosei suffered from a mental breakdown and lost the ability to hear the sound of the piano when he plays. However, when a violinist, Kaori Miyazono, comes into his life, she shows him another way of playing and a reason to not give up on music. This anime isn't just a pleasure for anyone who values classical music. It's also a story of healing and inspiration that people provide to each other and that helps them carry on with joy.
And if you are not a fan of music, you can try out something more primal, something more unusual, like our number 1, Beastars. You don't need to be furry to like this anime, even though all of its characters are anthropomorphic animals. And yes, Beastars is a much more popular anime show than most on our list, but it still doesn't get all the credit it deserves.
Imagine Zootropolis once again, but with a darker undertone. Unlike Zootropolis, the main characters aren't human-like animals who evolved to the state where their nature doesn't matter anymore, which allows them to act in a civilized manner. No, In Beastars, it's all about animals that try to live like humans and be civilized despite their natural tendencies.
The anime starts with the murder of a herbivore in Cherryton Academy, where herbivores and carnivores study together. The story, however, follows the life of Legoshi, a large gray wolf, who is shy and introverted despite his species. He discovers the hunting instincts in himself when he sees Haru, a small dwarf rabbit, and is then tormented by two thoughts. Could he also be a killer? A monster that could hurt other students? And is it a hunter's desire to get his prey, or actual love that he feels towards Haru?
This story is much less cheerful than Zootropolis, but it also feels more realistic. So if you haven't checked this anime show on Netflix yet, give it a try.
And what Netflix anime do you consider worth watching?
Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Cartoon Junkies for more videos.